Welcome again. We are in example number 2 of chapter 12 of rectilinear motion. A sandbag is dropped from the balloon ascending vertical at a constant speed of 6 meters per second. So the constant speed, the balloon is ascending. The bag is released at t equals 0 and hits the ground, this is the ground, when t is equals 8 seconds. So we want to find the speed of the bag as it hits the ground, and we want to find the altitude of the balloon at the instant that that bag hits the ground. So let's start with the speed of the bag when it hits the ground. We know that it was released with a constant velocity, but the bag is subjected to the gravity. We know the gravity is 9.81 meters over second squared. If we use the formula that we know from physics and we review in the theory, the velocity, which is also the integral of the acceleration, will be velocity 0 plus acceleration times t. But our acceleration, we know that is the gravity. We know the initial velocity, which is the same as the balloon, 6, and the gravity is 9.81. And we know that it hits the ground when it's 8 seconds. So we multiply by 8, and then we calculate the velocity. I have the results right here. It's negative 72.5 meters over second. Why is it negative? Because if we put our coordinate system where we drop the balloon, x and y, the acceleration is negative, right? And then our velocity is also negative when it hit the ground. So we did the first part of where we want to find our question. So let's do the second one. The altitude of the balloon is when the sandbag hits the ground. So that was question number 1. For question number 2, so we have to integrate the velocity to find the position. So this is, we know that the integral will be of that expression will be this one right here, right? If this is 0, so we want to find that altitude. So we make this 0, and we have 6 times 8 seconds, right? Negative 0.81 times 8 squared. That it gives, well, if you calculate that, I have the result right here. So the bag, the sandbag travels 265 meters, right? However, we want to find the altitude of the balloon. That's not the altitude of the balloon at that instant, because we know that the balloon keeps traveling up vertical with a constant velocity of 6 meters. So we know that that's the distance that the sandbag travels. So we know that the balloon, we don't have an acceleration, because they tell us that this is a constant speed. So the balloon is not subjected to the gravity, but is subjected to the gas that is pushing the balloon up. So it's a constant velocity. So we have this expression, but now we have only this part of the expression, because the acceleration is equal to 0. So it will be the initial velocity times time, which is 6 times 8, which is 48 meters. So the total altitude of the balloon when the sandbag hits the ground will be those distances added together. And obviously this is negative because my coordinate system is right here, and the other is positive. But to find the total distance, I have to add those two. So will be 265.9 plus 48 meters, which gives me a total altitude of 3. So we have our two results that we were asked to calculate.